Made by Aditya Kumar, class 7th A.
Action.
Hey Pooja Didi, you are here. I want your little help in my biology project. Can you help me please?
Yeah, sure, Raman. But before that, let me sow these seeds in the soil.
But why are you sowing these seeds?
It's simple, Aman. When seeds will germinate in the soil, a new plant will grow up.
That's interesting. Do all plants grow due to seeds?
No, Aman. There are various methods by which plants reproduce.
You mean to say that, like the animals, plants also reproduce?
Yes, Aman.
This has created an interest in me to learn about the reproduction in plants. Come children, let us learn about reproduction in plants. Objectives. At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to define reproduction, recall the parts of a flower, explain asexual and sexual reproduction in plants, describe asexual modes of reproduction in plants such as vegetative propagation, budding, fragmentation, and spore formation. Define unisexual and bisexual flowers. Understand pollination and its types. Explain formation of a zygote. Discuss seed dispersal in plants. What is reproduction? The process of producing young ones from their parents is called reproduction. Most plants have roots, stems, and leaves. These are called the vegetative parts of a plant. Flowers are the reproductive parts of a plant. But before studying the reproduction in plants, let's recall the parts of a flower. Parts of flower. Flowers are the beautiful parts of a plant. They are important in making seeds. Therefore, they are the reproductive parts of a plant. Let's learn about their parts. Stamen is the male part of a flower and pistil is the female part of the flower. The stamen has two parts, anther and filament. The anther is generally yellow in color and carries the pollen. It is held up by a thread-like part called a filament. The pistil has three parts, stigma, style, and ovary. The stigma is the sticky surface on the top of the pistil. It traps and holds the pollen. The style is the tube-like structure that holds up the stigma, and the ovary contains the ovules. Other important parts of the flower are the petals and sepals. Petal is the colored part of a flower. The sepals are the green petal-like parts at the base of the flower. Receptacle is the part of a flower stalk where the parts of the flower are attached. Self-assessment. Drag and drop the correct labels into their respective places. Types of reproduction be achieved through two ways, namely asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, only single parent is involved, whereas in sexual reproduction, both the parents are involved. Let's study about them in detail. Vegetative propagation. Different methods of asexual reproduction are vegetative propagation, budding, fragmentation, and spore formation. Let's discuss about them in detail one by one. When new plants are produced from the vegetative parts of a plant, the process is called vegetative propagation. It does not involve formation of seeds. Let us see how vegetative propagation works. Stem as a vegetative part of a plant. Have you ever seen buds at the nodes of the stem? These buds are called axillary buds. These buds do not produce flower, rather they give rise to new branches. In some plants like rose, small portions of the stem containing small nodes are cut from the plant. These cut portions are called cuttings. These cuttings, if planted and watered, can produce new rose plants. Similarly, stem cuttings of sugarcane can also be used for vegetative propagation of sugarcane. Do you know potato is the edible stem of a plant? It bears small scars on it called eyes. Well, these are the axillary buds. Each eye on a potato can give rise to new plants by forming shoot above and root below. Leaf as a vegetative part of a plant. In plants like Bryophyllum, leaf is the vegetative structure that helps in vegetative propagation of a plant. Many small buds arising at the margins of the leaves under suitable conditions form new plants. Budding. Children, have you heard about yeast? It is a single-celled organism which can be seen only under microscope. Let us see how they grow and multiply. Take a pinch of yeast powder and place it in a beaker with some water. Add some sugar and swirl to dissolve it. After an hour or so, put a drop of this liquid on a watch glass and observe under a microscope. You'll observe new yeast cells formed. The small bulb-like projection you see coming out of the yeast cell is called a bud. These buds grow, mature, and form new yeast cells.
Thanks for